Hey guys, it's the Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Guy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, of course, and this fine figure here is brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, as well as my local Ollies, who had this guy around springtime last year. 2023, for those of you watching this in the future. It's 2024 is the time I am posting this, but 2023 still as of the time I'm recording it, so I'm sure that's not confusing at all. So, hello from the past. But either way, got this guy from my local Ollies for about 10 bucks. 10 schmackers. So, pretty solid considering this guy is practically a Build-A-Figure if we're talking in Marvel Legends terms. So, with that being said, let's get right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review, because eagle-eye viewers of this channel know that I am not the biggest Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan at all. I have a slight grudge against it for what it did to the popularity of my beloved gargoyles, but that's another story for another day. So taking a look at Guy's accessories here, he does come with a couple of extra hands. He's got a grip hand and an open hand here. Kind of wish he just came with 2 open hands, because he doesn't come with anything to put in the grip hand. And I actually used to have this guy's vintage figure, the old Bandai one from back in the day. And not only did he have nipple firing action, he had this weird little 3-prong cane thing. I guess you could use it as a claw. This figure does not come with that, which kind of sucks. I do wish he had it, but I guess the accessory they did give him is a little bit cooler. We'll talk about that in a minute here, because he does also come with a little blast effect here, which, as you can see, has a bit of a, what do you want to call those things, contact lens type piece on it. So you can pop the center of his eye out and put this in there and make it look like he's firing a laser. Or you could take this cool little eyeball buddy of his, which has this removable effect piece, which I'm not going to take off. I don't see the point of that. But you could take the lens out of this. I call it a lens. It's just the center of the eye there. You can pop that out, and then you can put this in here. And now his little buddy's firing the laser. And if you got nails, like mine, that's pretty easy to do. But if you don't, it's pain right in the ass. You will probably hurt yourself trying to swap that out. So be careful. Maybe get a bit of a tool or something to get in there and pop one side up. That way you can just lift it out. But a cool little accessory. Arguably better than that 3-prong walker cane thingy, but I still would have liked that because I do remember it. That said, this is a bit premature of me to do this, but since we got him standing right there, for your Ranger comparison, here is an average size Ranger, the Black Ranger, aka good old Zach here. So you get an idea of how tall this guy is. And for 10 bucks, you know, I didn't do too bad, did I? Shout out to a friend of the channel, Evil Villain, for hooking me up with this Black Ranger too, by the way. And actually the whole MMPR team. So it saved me a lot of money and a lot of headaches trying to find him on the secondary. But taking a closer look at Guy here, one of my favorite monsters from MMPR. I really liked him. I like the skeleton guy. I like the Black Knight. Friend of the channel again, Evil Villain, likes the Rhino guy. I actually think I sent him the original one. It was one of the few I had. You know, I didn't have a ton of the Power Rangers monsters, but I had this guy, I had that skeleton dude, I had that the rhino looking guy. I've seen the chicken guy before, he's fun. And then there's like a cacodemon goat looking guy who's got headbutt action, but I called it satanic rave action because his arms would lift up too, like ooh, ooh. So that was quite hilarious. So hopefully they'll get around to making all those. But unfortunately, this line's going on hiatus, I hear. So hopefully it comes back and they make some more monsters, because these are what do it for me. I really like the monsters in this line. I think they're fun. I think even if you're not a Power Rangers fan, there's something to appreciate here, because they're just cool designs. I mean, he's a freaking golem made out of eyeballs. I'm already a sucker for, like, eyeball-centric characters. So, like, Cyclopses, or the Skeleton Men from Scooby-Doo, or that one dude from Skylanders. What was it? Eyebrawl? And there was the little one, Ice Small. Is it the Oracle from Dungeons and Dragons? The big eyeball thing with tentacles? Either way, there's plenty of eyeball-centric characters, but this guy's literally made of eyeballs, so there's no mistaking what his theme is. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his eye can actually move around. It's like a big ball joint. So that's pretty cool. Kind of creepy. But, you know, that's kind of the point. You can close his mouth here, if that's what you want to call it. Open it back up. I remember the vintage figure being able to do that. I don't remember who I sent that to. But he does have the hinge shoulders that go out. He does have a bit of that butterfly joint. It's more like the Toddy Mac DC Multiverse Spawn Universe shoulders. They got a ball joint in there. It's not just a straight butterfly, so you can shift them a little bit and move them forward and back, which I prefer. It's less liable to get stuck that way. It is detented on the rotation too, so that's nice, but popping that down. He does have a swivel in the elbow as well as a hinge. Gives you a 90-degree bend there. It's got a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. I will say the alt hands are a little tighter on this guy as far as the swivel goes, but I prefer him with the fists. If he's not going to have any weapons, you might as well just have a couple of fists. I guess the open hand's fine. I don't remember that shoulder being as loose as it is, but it's not floppy. And this one, that's weird. This one's popping up more than the other one. Oh, there we go. Torso has a Mythic Legion style joint, kind of, sort of. It can rock forward and back, side to side, and rotate all the way around. It did have a pretty powerful clicker in there, but you know, I posed him a little bit since I busted him out for this review, so probably worked it a little loose there, but that's okay. I don't mind not breaking my stuff. Hashtag don't break your toys. His hips, standard kind of T-joint, but the diaper, not diaper, but the crotch here will rub up against that, so be careful. You don't want to scratch any of the paint off the eyes. Which they did paint a fair amount of them. I'm sure if you shaded this guy in, he'd look a lot better. You can kick out to the side pretty well. That's not bad for a big bulky dude like this. He can kick out almost better than Spider-Man with drop-down hips. Kind of proves that you don't need those, doesn't it? He's got a thigh cut that works fine. Double knee that's tighter than a son of a gorilla. Like, holy cow, I don't know how to grab this and get it to work. There we go. Plus side is, I'm not really worried about breaking this thing, but crap, I'm worried about it breaking me. That said, he's got a calf cut, which works pretty well, and then a hinge in the foot with a rocker. That's fairly loose. I think on both sides, yeah, it's not the tightest thing ever, but it's fine. And then I don't think he's got peg holes. Oh, he does. He's got one on that foot. Oh, yeah, he's got peg holes. So, peg holes at the bottom of the feet if you need to put him on a stand. And unless you're trying to balance this guy on one foot, he's got big chunky feet. Should be able to stand him pretty easily there. So, that's Eye Guy in a nutshell. He's freaking cool. I like him a lot. One of my favorites. Not going to be a figure of the year or anything. I mean, he is older than 2023, so doesn't qualify for that. I think he came out in 22. If I'm not mistaken. I guess if I had him then, I would think about it, because he is fun. He is big, he's chunky, I like him a lot. I like all the monsters. I will keep getting these monsters until, you know, I have them all or they stop making them. But, yeah, man, I dig this guy a lot. Really, really cool. So, before we wrap this thing up, let's bring in our two regulars, because it wouldn't be one of my videos without him. Here he is with Brother Mandibilith. there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who is not towering over everyone today. This Eye Guy is a deluxe figure, essentially. And by the way, Marvel Legends line, brand, team, whatever. How come the Power Ranger monsters that are, like, pretty big and chunky are only like $30 regularly? Maybe 34 or 5 now because of inflation. And the Marvel Legends deluxe offerings are like $40. And they're not unique sculpts or nearly as nice looking as these. Like, the quality on these is very, very good. Whereas the Marvel Legends, like, we just looked at that Mr. Fix-It. That was a repainted figure. And he cost more than this guy, though. He did come with some accessories, but still, it's like, what's going on there? So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I may not be the biggest Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan on the face of the planet, I mean, let's face it, I certainly am not, there's no denying that even someone who's not as big of a fan, such as myself, can appreciate a really, really cool monster design like good old Eye Guy here. I mean, it is literally a golem made of eyeballs. That's pretty freaking cool. It's pretty freaking crazy, but pretty freaking cool. So, I'm hoping that in the future we see the skeleton guy, the Black Knight, the Rhino, the Crazy Chicken, and that goat monster that I mentioned before, because those are some that really stick out to me just because of how cool and or, again, crazy they are. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.